You're with Julian on the Brown Note review. That's the first time I've said that. So basically, the main channel, the Brown Note, which all the movie reviews used to be on, is basically politics, current affairs, social issues, and stuff relating to that. So there was a bit of a clash. So this is the new channel, which is just going to be cultural stuff, music, movies, stuff relating to that. So they don't clash so bad, because I noticed that a lot of the political stuff was going down well, and then there'd be a movie review, and vice versa. So the first review on the new channel, even though it's exactly the same, it's just one more word, is Habit. Habit is a film that I'm only reviewing and I only watch because it has a glorious 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, 0%, which is an immediate attraction for me. I must admit, my own zeros that I've given out over the years have often been films that haven't got anywhere near as bad. I think I gave We Summon the Darkness 0 out of 10, and that got 60% or something, or 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this is directed by Janelle Shirtcliffe. I imagine this could be a nom de plume. There's no information about this. It caused a great deal of trouble earlier in the year because of blasphemy and lesbian Jesus, and I think that was a poster played by Paris. Not is it Paris Jackson? Beautiful eyes that lady has. Paris Jackson, and it was then pointed out that lesbian Jesus thing wasn't in the film. So anyway, it caused a lot of trouble. Now this is a film that is basically like, someone's gone into one of these nightclubs in LA where really painful people sit around who think that everyone on earth wants to be like them, and they decide to make a movie, even though they have absolutely no talent or ability to do so. So the kind of people that think a VIP rope is the end to existence, it's the greatest thing that you could have. Now, Bella Thorne is the star of this, and she's become quite famous because she's an ex-Disney star that became a adult actress. The plot is, it mentions Quentin Tarantino in the blurb. So basically there's 3 people who live together who are supposed to sell some like 20 grand's worth of drugs that they pick up off of Gavin Rossdale from the band Bush. And they're supposed to sell it, but it gets nicked by someone. So then the people that Gavin Rossdale owns the money to, the big scary gangsters, they come after everyone and kill everyone. And the 3 girls go on the run. And that's a large part of the movie is down to Bella Thorne's character's religiosity. She grew up with this very deep love of Jesus, but also is a reprobate when it comes to sex and drugs, and that's where the movie tries its hardest to be controversial by mixing those 2 elements together, not very successfully. Now, I wanted more from this film, as in I wanted it to be much more interestingly bad. At times it reaches for something like Pink Flamingos, the John Waters film, where you're going to get something that is so offensive and dramatically so, and you're really interested in it, and if you're like me and you're very, very twisted. But those moments are so few and far between. It never quite pushes that envelope. It does have the air of a film that is like a little kid swearing and thinking that he's being super obnoxious and challenging the status quo. I'm so sorry, I've got a sneeze coming. I don't think I've ever had a sneeze. Stay away. I can't be bothered to restart the camera. Oh, it's like I've inhaled some of the very bad things that they do in this film. And the other thing is there are some really painfully amateurish moments. So the acting is terrible. It's really bad. And Bella Thorne is by far the big name here. And she is listed as someone that made her name as a Disney actress of some renown, a child actress with a lot of acclaim. I couldn't picture that here. She doesn't have any more charisma or ability than the rest of them either. We get the band The Kills, And Jamie Hintz makes for a particularly terrible villain. And his fight with Gavin Rossdale, who is a terrible actor, is one for the ages. And I wanted more like that. It is a man cuddle, and how they thought that was an acceptable... It wouldn't be acceptable in a student video, how poorly done it is. And I wanted more of that. And a lot of the other cast, Hannah May Lee's quite... is it Hannah May Lee? I think it's Hannah May Lee. She plays the villain above Gavin Rossdale, and she's got a lot of... the whole cast are like models and singers and people in bands and on the and fashion models, and that's about it. And she's terrible as the main bit. Josie Ho. And there's a couple of others that live with Bella Thorne that are actually more interesting, and I wouldn't mind it being a buddy movie. I'm guessing that might have been that Caroline D'Amour, she's a fashion actress, but Andrea Pejic, who is the Australian androgynous supermodel, and born male, but pretty much, they say androgynous. He looks, or she, or they look very much like a girl. I don't think that's androgyny. I think androgyny is when you don't look like one or the other. And there is no mistaking, is it they? She is particularly androgynous when she looks 100% like a woman. But on the photo shoots she does, and she's like a supermodel, she's very demure and very classy. Not so much in this film. She does bring a bit of the John Waters. She comes across really trashy, and I actually kind of liked her performance. But, God, this film's torture. It's so boring. It's a real struggle to get through. By far the best bit was the fact that they used a really good Duran Duran song and had a montage to it. And some of the other montages where there's a bit of respite from their acting is a little bit more entertaining. But to really qualify for a full-blown 0 out of 10, it is a terrible film. It's so dull, and it does remain curiously religious all the way through. And Bella isn't an interesting person to hang around with for... Well, it doesn't give you the runtime. I doubt it's more than 80 minutes, but it is pretty terrible. So, sadly, not enough to recommend as a true train wreck. And for probably 2/3 of the runtime, it's really dull. It's actually quite boring. So it's like it's more insufferable than if you had a group of these people sitting on the table next to you in a restaurant. So Habit, I'm going to not go full 0. I'm going to go 1.5 out of 10. For the odd 5 minutes here and there, which actually lived up to the appalling 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. So 1.5 out of 10 for Habit. My worst review film of the year, I think. And that's easy when you watch it. You wouldn't get through it. Trust me, you'll give up in under 20 minutes.